Ciao ragazzi! Today we'll be catching up with one of my favorite Italian person. One of my favorite Italian... I forgot English. One of my favorite Italian person, Luca Ravelli, the main character of this book, Come una notte a Bali di Gianluca Gotto. And if you want to purchase this book, I have left the link in the comment section below because I have like a recommendation platform where you can just click the link and purchase it for yourself. If you're new to my reading series in Italian, what I do is I read a page of Italian every day and I highlight the words that I don't understand as I'm reading through. I also explain what I do understand as I'm reading. And then at the end of the video, I go and translate the words and come back with their translations and kind of explain how the story is progressing. If you're learning French, French is my mother tongue, so I've created a French reading series that you can also find on my channel. Anyway, let's get right into it. If you want to know what happened in the last page, the last little passage that we read, go and watch my last video. And under all my videos in the description box below, I leave the translations of the words I highlighted. So you can go and check them out, make flashcards out of them, learn the lists, do whatever you want to improve your own Italian. This is a learning process, so obviously there are going to be mistakes, but it's okay because as a community we can help each other out like many of you have done. You correct my Italian, my pronunciation, my grammar. Like if you've been here from the beginning, you know that I thought that the main character's name was Eri, when in reality it was just a conjugated form of the verb essere. So you know, embrace the mistakes because that's how you learn. Anyway, I think we can finish this chapter today, so that next time we'll start on chapter 3. Let's see how we go. La laurea, la firma sul contratto, quale giornata speciale con Sara. E poi? Non ricordavo nient'altro. Mi ricordavo però giovane. Mi ricordavo però giovane, sorridente e abbronzato su una spiaggia di Ibiza. Ibiza. Un ragazzo pieno di vita e di sogni. Okay, just a bit of context for you guys that might just be joining on this video. In the last video, our main character, Luca, was just like, he saw his reflection and he just looked really tired. He just didn't recognize himself when he saw his reflection. And then he thought to himself, when did I get like this? When did I allow myself to be this person that I'm seeing in this mirror? And then he says, but in reality, I don't really remember the last few years. Like, I've just lived on autopilot this whole time. And that thought scared him. Quel pensiero mi spezzò il fiato. That thought made me hold my breath. Like, how can I? Like, what happened? So now it's just an extension of that. La laurea, he got a degree. La firma sul contratto, the signature on the contract. Qualche giornata speciale con Sara, e poi. Non ricordavo nient'altro. Those are the only things he remembers, like his degree, the signature on his contract, a special day with Sarah, some special days that he spent with Sarah, but then he doesn't remember anything else. Mi ricordavo però giovane. But I do remember myself young, smiley, tanned, on a beach in Ibiza. A guy full of life and dreams, un ragazzo pieno di vita e di sogni. Quando me la scattarono, quella foto, mi ero appena laureato ed ero pronto a spaccare il mondo. All'epoca ero convinto che avrei aperto una startup rivoluzionaria e avrei fatto la differenza. Immaginavo la mia vita come una continua avventura, ricca di ostacoli ma anche di passione. E quel sogno, lo dicevo a tutti, passerò un periodo della mia vita in Australia. Era una nazione che mi affascinava fin. Sorry, sometimes my French brain wants to read in French. Era una nazione che mi affascinava fin da piccolo. Quando me la scattarono. I don't know, when he scanned the photo? Quella foto mi ero appena laureato ed ero pronto a spaccare il mondo. Mi ero appena... I had barely graduated and I was ready to conquer the world, I think. Appena laureato. Pronto a spaccare il mondo. À l'époque, back in the day, I was convinced that I would open a startup that would be like revolutionary and that I would continue this adventure, rich, like with a lot of obstacles, but with a lot of passion too. So as much challenges as successes, basically. And this dream, I told it to everybody. I will spend a time of my life in Australia. I'm guessing that's what his dream is. Era una nazione che mi affascina fin da piccolo. It's a nation that has fascinated me since I was little. La sera del diploma, Ubriaco fradicio, lo avevo annunciato a gran voce ai miei ormai ex compagni di classe. Poi però avevo sempre rimandato quel viaggio. Da adolescente ero troppo giovane, a 20 anni dovevo pensare alla laurea, dopo l'università non avevo soldi, poi dovevo preoccuparmi di trovare un lavoro. Una volta conquistato un impiego sicuro, avevo le ferie solo ad agosto, non il miglior periodo dell'anno per andare in Australia. Okay. Il avait annoncé, I had announced it with a big voice to my ex classmates. Then, however, avevo sempre rimandato, I had always rescheduled the travel, like I'd always pushed it back. From when I was a teen, I was too young. At 20 years old, I had to think about my degree. After university, I didn't have money. Then I had to worry about finding a job. Una volta conquistato un impiego sicuro, once I had obtained a secure job, a secure position, avevo le ferie solo ad agosto. I only had holidays, les jours fériés, in August. Non il miglior periodo dell'anno per andare in Australia, and that's not the best time of the year to go to Australia. Why did I say it like that? To go to Australia. Alla fine il sogno era stato accantonato talmente tante volte da essermene dimenticato io stesso. Accantonato talmente. Dimenticato is to have forgotten. It's the only word I got from that. Era finito in quel buco nero che aveva assorbito tutto, le emozioni, le esperienze, i desideri e le ambizioni. So it finished in un buco, quel buco nero. Is it a black book? Buco nero? No, libro is a book, so I don't know what buco is. Che aveva assorbito tutto. That had sorted out everything, like organized everything. My emotions, the emotions, the experiences, the desires and the ambitions. E quell'immagine di Luca sorridente, abbronzato e pieno di vita, ora non era altro che la mia immagine profilo su Facebook. Wow, that's tough. And do you guys say Facebook or do you say Facebook or Facebook? Facebook. Anyway, this image of Luca, smiling, tanned, and full of life, now is nothing other, non era altro che, is nothing other than my image, my profile picture on Facebook. So he's no longer this person, this young, full of life, tanned, smiley guy. All that's remains of that guy is his profile picture on Facebook. Wow. Ebbi la sensazione di aver tradito me stesso, come se mi fossi fatto una cosa molto brutta, di cui vergognarsi. Why is the light so bright? Oh my gosh. Ebbi la sensazione di aver tradito me stesso, come se mi fossi fatto una cosa molto brutta, di cui vergognarsi. Vergognarsi. Ebbi la sensazione, I had the sensation to have trahi, to have betrayed me stesso. Myself? Come se mi fossi fatto una cosa molto brutta. Come se mi fossi fatto... as if I had done an ugly thing. I know brutta is ugly. Cosa molto brutta. Ugly thing. Mi fossi fatto, come se mi fossi fatto. Di cui vergognarsi. E provai una profonda tristezza. Oh. He felt a deep sense of sadness. Va tutto bene? Sei un po' pallido? Mi chiese all'improvviso Mirko, facendomi trasalire come un bambino scoperto a fare una marachella. Facendo trasalire come un bambino scoperto a fare una marachella. So Mirko asked him, "Is everything okay? You look a bit pale." Mi girai di scatto e gli sorrisi, con un sorriso che già non sentivo più mio. Okay, so he's saying, he turned around, di scatto, quello dei giorni automatici che distribuivo ogni mattina in ufficio. I think he's talking about his smile. He's saying that type of smile that we give during the day, that automatic smile that we distribute every morning in the office, maybe when, you know, they're greeting their colleagues and they're just like, hi, you know, the polite smile that that he might not necessarily mean, but he's doing out of politeness, I guess. Quello che mostravo a Sara alla sera, quello che tiravo fuori quando un amico faceva una battuta, ma a me non veniva da ridere. It's a bit too real, you know. He's saying that smile that that I show Sarah in the evenings when he comes back from work, when he's probably tired, but, you know, still has to act like he's full of energy and in a good mood. Quello che tiravo fuori quando, the one that I do, que je tire, that I bring out when a friend makes a joke and I don't feel like laughing. But ma non veniva da ridere, but like the laugh isn't coming out. Non riuscivo a capire perché sentissi il battito del cuore accelerare. Non riuscivo a capire perché sentissi il battito del cuore accelerare. Accelerare o accelerare? Accelerare. Accéléré. I don't know. Né perché avessi la vista leggermente offuscata. I wasn't able to understand because I felt my heartbeat accelerate, like go faster. Né perché avessi la vista leggermente offuscata. La vista. My sight, la vista must be sight. Légèrement offuscata, blurred, I don't know. Tutti quei pensieri, tutti insieme e all'improvviso, generavano un'ansia nuova dentro di me, che mi toglieva l'aria dai polmoni. Everything that I thought, tutti insieme, like generated un'ansia nuova. Maybe it's generated a new anxiety, something else to be anxious about inside of me, che mi toglieva l'aria dai polmoni. That was toglieva, I don't know, but the air de mes poumons, polmoni, of his lungs. Mes poumons? Yeah, I think so. Mi toglieva l'aria. Polmoni must be the lungs, but it's still good to check. Guardai un'ultima volta la mia immagine riflessa nello specchio, sapendo che non l'avrei mai dimenticata. Mi venne solo voglia di piangere. Aww. So he looked at his reflection another time in the mirror, nello specchio. Trust me, after the last video, I will not forget what specchio is. I know che non l'avrei mai dimenticata, that I will never forget it. The only thing that came to me was the desire to cry, l'envie de pleurer. Voglia, oui, I wanted to cry. Non lo feci, non piansi. I didn't do it, I didn't cry, non piansi. Riusci, I really need to figure out why is there riusci. I had another word in one of the previous pages that also had a second I, and I just want to know why. Is that like, it's a grammar point I need to figure out. Riusci a trattenermi e dissi a Mirko. Donc j'ai réussi à me retenir. I was able to hold myself back, like hold the tears back. And I said to Mirko, ho solo un calo di zuccheri, vado giù in messa. Ho solo un calo di zuccheri, vado giù in mensa. Vado giù in mensa. I only have un calo di zuccheri. Is it a sugar rush? Calo di zuccheri. Vado, I come giù in mezza. In mensa? Why do I keep saying mezza? In mensa. Vengo con te, replicò lui, togliendosi le cuffie. No, dai, non è il caso. È così, presto. Raggiungimi dopo, dissi. So Mirko says, I'll come with you. I don't know where. He must have explained it in the other line where I've got words highlighted, so I don't really understand right now. Answered Mirka whilst removing his headphones. Le cuffie is also a word of vocab that we learned in one of the previous pages. And Luca is like, no, come on, non è il caso. Ce n'est pas le cas. Like, you don't have to come with me. È così presto. It's already like this. It's already ready. Join me later. Raggiungimi dopo. Mirko mi guardò con un'espressione buffa, simile a quella di un cane che non comprende il nuovo comando del suo padrone. Mirko mi guardò con un'espressione buffa. So Mirko looks at Luca with like a... Like, what do you mean you don't want me to come with you? Expression. Simile, like, one, like an expression of a dog that doesn't understand the new command, the new instruction of his master, suo padrone. Ma io iniziavo a stare male, but I started to feel bad, to like feel bad. L'ansia stava divampando da qualche parte dentro di me e non trovava una via di uscita. I think he's having a panic attack because he's saying the anxiety, l'ansia, which I think that's what it is. That's what I guessed up there, but let's see when we translate it if that's right. The anxiety was starting to travel in whatever parts of me, da qualche parte, everywhere within me, and could not find an exit. Sai, prima devo passare in bagno, gli dissi, celando nel migliore dei modi la disperazione che provavo. So after telling Mirko, no, you don't need to come with me right now, you can join me later, Luca is like, you know, I need to go to the bathroom first. I told him, chillando, trying to hold back his desperation or whatever anxiety qu'il éprouvait, that he was feeling, che provavo. Ah, già. Ok, a dopo. Quando le porte dell'ascensore si chiusero, mi senti... Again, where are the two eyes? Mi senti. Soffocare, bloccato, in uno spazio che... Soffocare, bloccato, in uno spazio che di colpo sembrava minuscolo. 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 In Italian, I need to check. Does the stress fall on the penultimate syllable or on the second syllable? Minuscolo or minuscolo? Anyway. Soffocare bloccato in uno spazio che di colpo sembrava minuscolo. Inoltre sentivo alle mie spalle la presenza dello specchio ed ero convinto che se mi fossi girato e avessi rivisto di nuovo quel mio volto pallido e spento, sarei morto sul colpo. Colpo, I don't know, is it the floor? Anyway, he went into the elevator, and when the doors closed, he felt sophisticated, blocked in a space che di colpo, again, colpo, I don't know, that seemed minuscule, small. Inoltre sentivo, and he could feel the presence of the mirror behind him, because usually in lifts, in elevators, there's a mirror behind. And he said if he didn't want to turn around, because if he turned around and sees that expression, that pale, worn out face of his, then he would just die. Feci per allentare il nodo della cravatta, ma le mani mi tremavano e non ci riuscii. Feci per allentare. He did something to his tie, like maybe tried to fix it, but his hands are shaking and he wasn't able to. Feci per allentare, I don't know what that is though. Il nodo, le nœud, the knot of the tie. Il nodo della cravatta. He tried to maybe undo it because he's stressed, he's having a panic attack. Ma le mani mi tremavano, but my hands were shaking. E non ci riuscii, and I couldn't undo it properly. Guardavo il display posizionato sopra le porte scorrevoli. I numeri che indicavano il piano erano rossi e ogni volta che una spariva per lasciare spazio al successivo, sentivo mancarmi il terreno sotto i piedi. Ok, guardavo il display posizionato sopra le porte. So he's looking at the whatever is stuck, the display above the doors of the elevator, scorrevoli, and the numbers that indicate the levels were red, and every time che uno spariva, every time that one spariva per lasciare left, to leave space for another, sentivo mancarmi il terreno sotto. I felt like I was, maybe people were coming into the elevator at each level or coming out, I don't understand, but every time something happened, he felt like there was no floor beneath his feet. He's having a panic attack, like he's just very bamboozled in his mind. He feels disorientated, which when you're having a panic attack, that's usually, yeah, what happens. Quel mezzo secondo in cui il display restava tutto nero mi toglieva il fiato. For half a second in which the display was just black, mi toglieva il fiato. I think he's saying that whatever he's looking at was just black, because he's so distressed right now that nothing seems clear in his vision, and it was doing something to his breath. Mi toglieva il fiato. Le mani formicolavano come mai mi era successo. Le mani formicolavano come mai mi era successo. Quando il numero 1 sparì lasciando spazio al nero, ebbi l'impressione che il tempo si fosse fermato e con esso anche l'ascensore. Non sentivo più nulla, tutto mi sembrava sbiadito e incolore. Apriti! Urlai disperato. Dopo mezzo secondo le porte si aprirono e mi ritrovai davanti 3 persone con l'aria confusa. So, quando il numero 1 sparì lasciando... He's in the elevator. Mi sembrava sbiadito e incolore. Everything to him seems sbiadito and doesn't have color. And then he shouts, open, like, open yourself to the door, open, he shouts in desperation. After half a second, dopo mezzo secondo, after half a second I think, le porte, the doors opened and he found himself in front of 3 people that just looked confused. They probably heard him shout behind the elevator doors, that's why. Usci di corsa. He moved out the way. Sempre di corsa percorsi la hall e raggiunsi l'uscita. Misi le mani sul maniglione di sicurezza e mi ritrovai fuori al freddo e sotto la pioggia, con il respiro corto e gli occhi che mi sembravano schizzati dalle orbite. Ok, so il a rejoint la sortie. He found the exit. He put his hands on the handles of security. Like, is it a security exit maybe? And he found himself outside under the rain with a short breath and eyes that seemed schizzati dalle orbite. Like out of their orbit, out of their lobe. I don't know. Mi piegai appoggiando le mani sulle ginocchia. Non capivo cosa stesse succedendo, ma soprattutto non capivo cosa stesse succedendo, ma soprattutto, we learned this in another video, soprattutto, above all else, soprattutto. Anyway, it's fun to see how all these different ways of learning vocab and grammar, they link. So when I'm watching videos and learning vocab, I'll read and I might re-encounter that word again, but recognize it. And because it's come from a different source of learning, a different way of learning, it's like it sticks in my brain a bit better because my brain is able to connect that word to an experience, like watching the videos or reading. So yeah, use a variety of ways to learn a language so that, you know, words stick in your mind. Ma soprattutto non sapevo come uscire da quell'incubo, come scrollarmi di dosso la tremenda sensazione di cadere nel vuoto. But above all else, I didn't know how to come out of this incubator. He had this immense sensation of cadere in the emptiness, nel vuoto. Provai a sedermi sul muretto che costeggiava l'ingresso. Non fece alcun effetto. La respirazione aumentò ancora, fino a quando mi resi conto di non poter resistere un secondo di più. He was able to sit himself down on the wall, sul muretto. You know how sometimes you have walls, but they're like short enough for you to be able to sit on them, maybe. Che costeggiava l'ingresso. Maybe he's talking about where this wall is. Non fece alcun effetto. It didn't do anything. My breath was still very rapid. Aumento ancora was still going up, like in frequency, I guess. L'attacco di panico ebbe le meglio su di me. Svegli e fu tutto buio, finalmente. The panic attack was better than me. ebbe la meglio su di me, took the best of me, like, yeah, was above me, like I couldn't do anything about it. Svegli e fu tutto buio. E fu tutto. Finally. Finalmente. Anyway, let me go and get the translations and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have the translations here. Quando me la scattarono. When they took it for me. When they took this photo for me, or of me. Appena laureato, just graduated. Pronto a spaccare il mondo, ready to rock the world. Ubriaco fradicio, dead drunk. La sera del diploma, the day he graduated, he was dead drunk. Gained a job. So, yeah, he's giving all the excuses as to why he didn't do that trip to Australia, which is his dream, because when he was a teen, he was too young. Then when he was in his 20s, he had to think about his degree. And then after graduating, he didn't have the money. And then una volta and then he had to look for a job. He had to gain a job. Oh, he had gained a job, so he had to concentrate on that. Accantonato talmente tante volte da essermene dimenticato io stesso. At the end of the day, this dream had been put aside so many times that I myself had forgotten about it. Quel buco nero, that black hole, era finito in quel buco nero. So this dream had just finished in a black hole. Ah, che aveva assorbito, that had like sucked everything. Emotions, experiences, desires, and ambitions. Ebbi la sensazione, as if I had the feeling, me stesso, myself, come se mi fossi fatto una cosa molto brutta, di cui vergognarsi, as if I had done something very bad to myself. Something to be ashamed of, di cui vergognarsi. Facendomi trasalire, caught doing mischief. Ah, no, okay. Facendomi trasalire is making me jump. Scoperto a fare una marachella is caught doing mischief. So Mirko, the way he asked Luca if he was okay, made Luca jump as if he was a kid that had been caught doing something wrong, mischief. Mi girai di scatto. I turned around suddenly. Okay, this word, it was for the pronunciation because in French, it's accélérer. So there's there's two different sounds. So I'm wondering if it's the same in Italian. Is it accelerare, but accelerare, accelerare sounds better. I don't know. Accelerare. La vista leggermente offuscata, slightly blurred vision, un'ansia nuova dentro, a new anxiety. Mi toglieva, it took me away. Polmoni was lungs. Like in French, the word is very similar. It's poumon, les poumons. Non piansi, non l'avrei, I wouldn't have it. Non piansi, I didn't cry. Riusci, I succeeded. I think it's a form of the past tense, but I haven't seen it in like the spoken conjugations, like il passato prossimo or l'imperfetto. I've just, maybe it's like, you know, those tenses that are only used in literature that nobody uses to speak. And you just notice the difference when it's written. Un calo di zuccheri. A drop in sugar. O solo, I only have a drop in sugar. I'm going to the canteen. Buffa. Funny. So he had a funny expression. Celando. I told him, concealing my in a way to conceal the desperation that I felt. Oui, la désespération que j'éprouvais. Mi senti, I felt. Che di colpo. Oh, I like this one. That suddenly. Che di colpo. Que tout d'un coup. Kind of sounds like it in French. Sul colpo. Sur le coup. On the spot. Feci per allentare. I tried to loosen up il nodo della cravatta. Le nœud de la cravate. The knot of the tie. Scorrevoli. Sliding. Sopra le. On top of the doors. Sliding. Spariva. Disappeared. Che uno spariva. Ogni volta che uno. Piano era così. Ogni volta che uno spariva per lasciare spazio al successivo sentivo mancarmi il terreno sotto i piedi. Yeah, so disappeared. Mi toglieva il fiato, it took my breath away. Spari lasciando. You shoot leaving. You shot leaving. Quando il numero uno spari lasciando. Stava spiadito e incolore. It looked faded and colorless. What did? Everything. Tutto mi sembrava spiadito e incolore. Usci di corsa. I ran out. Sul maniglione. Sul maniglione di sicurezza. On the safety handle. Missi le mani. J'ai mis mes mains. I put my hands on the safety handle. Giatti dalle orbite. Splashed from their sockets. Yeah, his eyes looked splashed from their sockets. Sulle ginocchia. On the knees. Ginocchia, I didn't know. What knees? Quell'incubo come scrollarmi. Squalar? That nightmare, like, shook him up. Di cadere, to fall. In another video where we were going over one of my favorite songs from Mahmoud Barrio, he said, cadendo su queste strade, ti chiamavo, mi dicevi, cadendo su queste strade, like falling on these streets. And here we're seeing the word di cadere, to fall. Retto che costeggiava l'ingresso. Sul muretto che costeggiava l'ingresso. On the wall that runs alongside the entrance. So he, like, I guess he leaned on it. Di dosso, du dos. Prova. Yeah. Il s'est assis. Sedermi, he sat down. Quando mi resi conto, when I realized, sveni e fu tutto buio. I fainted and everything was dark. Sveni. I fainted. E fu tutto buio. There was a lot of vocab today because I read more than usual. I read almost 2 pages so that we could just finish the chapter today. But yeah, we're still in that transition phase. Like, he's realizing how stagnant and boring his life is, and it's getting a bit overwhelming. He's literally having a panic attack because he doesn't recognize himself, like midlife crisis, but I'm pretty sure he's not even 40 yet. So yeah, so I think the author really wants to show us what Luca is like at the beginning of his story. Bored, on autopilot daily. He's just not walking on his path, you know, on the path that was made for him in this life. He's just overwhelmed with the emotions of life and who he's become. That's not the vision that he had for himself. He stopped chasing his dream. Yeah. So I'm excited to read on and find out how he evolves as a character and, you know, what experiences are going to shape his life and who he becomes by the end of the story. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a little comment if you have anything to say. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Ciao tutti.